Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So my live reaction to my instant reaction and player ratings live stream following Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0. And Chelsea once again go away from home and drop points for absolutely no reason whatsoever. We are not rotating the team today, and we are still pathetic, which was exactly my point on Wednesday, that the rotation wasn't the reason for the pathetic performance. The mentality just weren't right. And on Wednesday, I kind of expected this a little bit against Leeds. Not that we lost, but that we'd play well and maybe, play badly and maybe drop points. But today, it surprised me. Today, I thought we'd bounce back from the Leeds game. I thought we'd be right on it today. But it was a shit show from the first minute to the last. Like, it was really poor in the first half. It was really poor in the second half. I mean, it started off, Dylan mentions it here. I'm glad Bournemouth had a goal disallowed. Yeah, they did. First minute of the game. Well, third minute of the game or whatever it was. Like, it started pathetically. Absolutely did. And it never really got any better. It really never honestly did. We had the Delap injured eventually. Palmer had to come off. Not that he was any good, but João Pedro was even worse. Pedro Neto had like a day of miscommunication with everybody. Like, I don't know, he had a miscommunication with himself today. Like, he was trying and he was like doing his thing. And when he got the ball, it wasn't even that bad. But his runs and the timing of his runs was always wrong every single time. I don't know what was going on with him today. But yeah, it just weren't working. There was a couple of decent players on the pitch today, and they were going by the name of Robert Sanchez and Wesley Fofana, and maybe Trev Chalobah, but mainly Sanchez and Wesley Fofana. Everybody else, poor. Anywhere from poor to, at best, average, if I'm being honest. Like, it really wasn't that great. It really, really, really wasn't. I'm going to call you Himanshu. I'm going to call you. Absolutely pathetic, he says. Hoodie says, we're lucky to have a draw. Couture Criminal. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Says, Maresca should have played this team on Wednesday, but the Tinkerman ruined our momentum as Arsenal. This rotation that he is crap. Bring in Felipe Luis. Proper Chelsea. Just want to keep Copa Libertadores. What? Should have played this team on Wednesday, and then what would have happened? Then we would have also lost on Wednesday, or then we would have got a draw on Wednesday and you would have been buzzing, or... And then we would have rotated today and lost today instead. Would you have been much more happy about this? I don't think so. I think so, Time Pass. I don't think he got injured. So, yes, I very much assume so that will happen. Could your criminal Reece ran around covering for the liability of Desenzo Fernandez? What does he even do? Honestly, Reece James was his own liability today, if I'm being totally honest. He gifted them so many chances in the first half. He gave the ball away so many times. He was still decent or very good in other moments. But he made so many silly mistakes. And that's what I mean. Like, that's exactly what I meant when I said on Wednesday, the team isn't what decided here today. Even if we turned out with our best team, we would have been shit on Wednesday. And today proved that. Daniel Knight says, not good enough. This squad is not good enough. I don't rate this squad, and rotation spending £2 billion fighting for top 4 is not good enough. Well, I disagree on that. Fighting for top 4 this season isn't good enough. You know, we spent 2 billion, yes, but we spent 2 billion on potential. We didn't spend 2 billion on ready-made quality. And you can have an issue with that. I have an issue with it, but we can't then forget that and then use it as like raising the expectation. If you thought we'd be title challengers this season, that's on you. We were never ready for charging a title challenge this season. But that doesn't mean we have to go to Leeds and to Bournemouth in the space of 4 days and drop points twice. You know, those are two different conversations. And today was even more pathetic than on Wednesday, because on Wednesday, you know, we could blame Tosin. We could blame the rotation like everybody did. Today, none of that. Absolutely none of that. Hoodie says, too many rotations. Bro, we literally didn't rotate today. We literally didn't rotate. So you're probably going to say, we rotated too much from Wednesday, when everybody moaned about too much rotation. So which way is it? Which way is it? People only want to moan. Some managers can motivate the team in all situations. Some managers can only do it in only big ones. Yeah, okay. Music moves minds. Fair. But then name me the last time a Chelsea manager succeeded at that. Because it weren't Thomas Tuchel. We had the exact same issue under Thomas Tuchel. So then who do you go back to? Conte? Do you know what I mean? You're going back to 2017, because you're only talking the first season. In the second season, he had, again, the very same issue. We've had many different squads, many different groups of players, many different managers, same issue every season. You know, on top of it, it's, you know, lesser teams playing them in December. And on top of that, it's lesser teams that we struggle with from the get-go. And then on top of that, it's December. So, my God. Lewis, my guy, appreciate everybody that is tuning in from Lewis's stream. Big up yourself. Big up Lewis. Obviously, if you don't know Lewis yet, subscribe to him as well. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Everybody's tuning in. Hit the like button for me right now. Let's get to 100 likes instantly. And subscribe if you haven't done that yet. That would be massively appreciated. Andrew says, going forward, Chelsea need to recruit quality and experience. Nothing will change if the model remains the same. Well, to an extent, it will change just by time passing because the players that we do have will become better. But I see your point. Grant says, goddamn, Chelsea can't get over this December shit. No, we really can't. It's an absolute nightmare, isn't it? It's an absolute... I don't know why we can't get over it for the flip. Do you know what I mean? Spending 2 billion and only fighting for fourth place in the league. Like I say, yes, we spent 2 billion, but we spent 2 billion on potential. We didn't spend 2 billion on 2 billion that's currently good. But, you know, how many arguments and debates do we need to have? Let's say 98% of us Chelsea fans are unhappy with a lot of the recruitment that this club have pulled off. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone's really out here defending that. Cardell, I'm going to call you, or Edwards. It's absolutely frustrating being a Chelsea fan. Don't know how much more I can say. Well, yeah. Try and get relegated. Imagine being Leeds. You know what I mean? Maresca has an agenda against two. This Enzo had the chance to pass the ball to Estevao. If he gave the ball to Estevao, I promise we win 1-0. Our attacker didn't show up. Yeah, he could have passed it there. I'm less certain than you are that it would have been a goal, but he could have passed that there, absolutely. There's a number of occasions where a pass would have been the better choice than the shot, unfortunately, today. Forget Maresca on forward watch. I have Maresca on Scott watch. We need to stop talking about Maresca. It's not a Maresca issue at all. Target for the season is top 4, top 5, so we won't perform unless that is a genuine threat. I've made my bed with it. No Champions League is Maresca sacked. Yeah, if we don't make Champions League, I do agree that Maresca probably will get sacked, but I am so damn sure that we will make top 4 or top 5 at worst, that I am not particularly concerned about this. I mean, look at how bad last season's December was, and then we still made it. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if we have a terrible December, we'll still be fine. But it's obviously frustrating in trying to stay close. It's really frustrating trying to stay close and helping this team gain that experience that they're clearly missing. Because if we want to be in the title fight this year, next year or the year after, we need to get practice at it. And we're not getting that at the moment. Yeah, I mean, Flex, fair enough. That's your opinion. It's certainly not mine, but there you go. That was one of our best lineup wise. How are we still so shit? We literally got 0 shots on target in the first half. Yep. It's not Brazilian, no chance. Fooled by Club World Cup, 5 goals last season. Mate, this is what I'm saying. What does he do? Like, he doesn't have a left foot. He's so stiff. It looks like he's never stretched in his whole entire existence. Oh my God, how is he playing number 10? Like, he's already bad as a striker, but as a number 10, this needs to stop. I'd rather play Buonanotte than João Pedro as the number 10. He's absolutely pathetic. Genuinely, absolutely pathetic. Oh my God. But anyways, this was the general lineup that we turned up with today. Essentially our strongest team. You know, obviously quite a few changes from the last game. We went with Delap up front rather than João Pedro for the physicality, and clearly very justifiably so, because Delap got bullied, got injured, got his shoulder dislocated. No idea why the doctors didn't try to pop it back in, but, you know, I'm no doctor, they are, so I would hope that they tried and it just didn't work or whatever. Marquillo came on, got equally bullied, and even the guy that bullied them got injured, and we still couldn't do anything. Palmer, obviously first start after his injury, unfortunately dreadful, but we'll get to that. Neto back at right wing, Garnacho back at left wing, Reece James in midfield, Gusto at right back. Of course, Caicedo still suspended. No Andre Santos today, which was surprising to me. The back four, as I would have expected it, though. But we did a few interesting things today. I'll just shift this around a little bit. In the first half, a bit different to in the second half. Now, the kind of insane thing we did in the first half, we kind of let Gusto and Cucurella go up. It's kind of difficult because kind of like Cucurella and Enzo were up, but it was a bit closer to maybe that. Or was it closer to that? Difficult to say, because in possession, what really truly happened is that essentially, no, that can't be it. No, that can't be it. Wait, I'm bugging. That's what it was. Okay, I got it now. Enzo was the right DM. Palmer was the left cam. Gusto was the right cam. Cucurella the left DM, although it was also high and wide very often as well. Don't get me wrong. But Reece James essentially in the first half dropped into the centre-back 3 for build-up. Now, to be honest, I don't even think this didn't work at all because it made us a bit more secure at playing out. But then in the second half, we stopped doing that again, and then Reece was just in midfield, and Cucurella filled this role. So, yeah, it was a bit strange. Not sure why we necessarily decided to go for that, but we did. But here we are. It wasn't exactly super pretty at all times, unfortunately. Why are all the heads covering all the faces? I don't want this. I don't like this. But I mean, did anyone have an issue with the lineup? Obviously, you can say why it's recent midfield and stuff, but I mean, it worked bloody well against Barca and Arsenal, didn't it? So, can you really moan about that part? I don't really know. We still got no Caicedo. Andres Santos was really poor against Leeds, as was Tosin, not even in the squad today. Yeah, I had no issue with the lineup. I had absolutely no issue with the lineup. The problem was how we turned up. We'll look at some stats together now, and then we'll get into some, what do I call it? Some player ratings. I can't be on here streaming for too long today, unfortunately, because I need to head out later for a family dinner, so that will happen. But of course, dropping ever further away, Arsenal did drop points, but City and Villa obviously didn't. So yeah, very much didn't deserve to win. They had 1.37 XG. We had 0.88. To be honest, I'm not even sure where that came from. Large chunks of it in the second half compared to the first. I mean, the second half were better than Bournemouth, to be fair, but we just couldn't score, and it's frustrating. At the same time, like, this is our first game, according to my commentator, the first game in 20 that we failed to score a goal. The last time we failed to, in all competitions, the last time we failed to score a goal was on the opening day of the season, a 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge. So, but yeah, they had 13 shots. We had 11 in the end. 4 shots on target. They had 5 in the end. But look at the first half. 3 shots, 0 on target, while they had 10 and 4 on target. We only let them have 3 more shots and only 1 more on target in the second half. Fair enough. The second half was okay. Like, the second half wasn't dreadful, but it was just not good enough in the sense of deserving the win. Like, it really wasn't. And it's just really sad. Like, in every sense of the word, we're worse than it. We didn't have a single corner. We were shocking from every free kick that we had. Barely created anything from open play, as you can see, even though all of our XG was from open play. It still just weren't really good enough, was it? We did hit the woodwork once with the Garnacho header. Obviously, a bit unfortunate. It could have been 1-0 at that point. It could have been. It's one of these games, isn't it? Like, I'm sat here frustrated. I'm sat here moaning. I'm sat here, and all of you in the comments, I'm sure, are frustrated and moaning about it as well. But at the same time, I'm sat here and I'm like, it's just that game. You know, last season was kind of the same game. Just we scored that 1 goal, and today we didn't score that 1 goal. JC says also Semenya should have got at least a yellow. He should have done, but doesn't matter. Groundhog Day, we've been here before, same time last season, can handle the pressure. I assume you mean can't handle the pressure. I'm not sure if it's pressure we can't handle. I think it's just consistency that we can't produce. That's the real problem. And again, I keep going back to it. Every time we look tired, every time we look slow, I'm not surprised by this. We didn't have preseason. Every other team, other than Man City, to be fair to him, had 7-8 weeks of preseason training. We did not. We had a week. So it never surprises me that, you know, we struggle a little bit and we need to rotate as much, even though some people, including some people in the chat, don't realize it and don't accept it. We need to rotate. Without rotation, we will, come January, February, we will not even have a fit 11 anymore if we don't rotate as much as we do. But there you go. Reach. Sorry if I butchered your name, bro. He said, despite an unfit Palmer, we still look better with him on the pitch than João Pedro. Yeah, absolutely. But Palmer was still fucking shit as well. I'm not going to have a big go at him, but you get the point. Also, stop playing Neto left wing, for fuck's sake. If you had to bring off Garnacho, just put Gittins or even Pedro on. I mean, yeah, but Neto was equally as bad on the left, I guess. But we need him for tracking back. I mean, but yeah, you could have brought on Estevao and Gittins in one. Why not? Might as well have done. But yeah, he really is trying to piss me off as well. Someone told Delap that his role on the pitch is to fight and foul rather than score. I think so. And he keeps going off worse in the fighting sense as well, even though that seems to be all he's interested in, which is the part that's so annoying. Like, I see him get sent off more than I see him win a duel. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's the most fake strong player I've ever seen in my whole entire life. When he got pushed off the ball so easily in the first half, and then he kicked the guy. Like, he kicked the guy much worse than Estevao did when some people were calling for a red card against Leeds. There was absolutely nothing he was doing, and he just kicked the guy for no reason. Like, he's so weak for how big he is. Like, he's not weak in terms of, like, say, like Buonanotte weak. Of course he is. But he's weak for how big he looks and for how strong he looks. He just can't hack it. In a double pivot, last 2 games, and only 1 point from 6. Was Enzo in the double pivot last game? I don't think so, bro. Was he? I need to think about that again. I'm not sure if he was, but I hear your point. I would argue it's more of a, no Caicedo and not Enzo higher up issue than it is an Enzo deeper issue, but I hear you. Jackson is better than both strikers we have, and he's not even a striker. Well, Jackson is definitely a striker, that's for sure, but yeah, he's much better than both of our strikers combined. And we spent a whole 90 million on it. Bloody brilliant. Karan says, guys, how many more players do you guys want? It's not about the quality, it's about these guys not able to get themselves up to the required intensity for games like these. Well, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, in my opinion. But I hear your point. Now, let's get back to the lineup. Let's get into these player reigns. Let's not mess about. Like I say, I don't have all day. Robert Sanchez, good game. Made a lot of saves. Let me actually look quickly how many saves he made. He got the FOTMOB man of the match. He made 5 saves today. Prevented 0.76 XG, which is good. Passing, not great, like 9 out of 19 long balls, but not too bad. He did well. Got 7 fantasy points as well, to be fair to him. 5 recoveries. 4 saves inside the box, 1 punch, 2 high claims, 3 diving saves. I'll give him an 8. Kept the clean sheet, and he was a large reason for the 8, for the clean sheet. I could give him a 7 or a 7.5 as well. I could do. And if the chat is like super mad at an 8, I can drop it. But my first reaction was 8 because I felt like he was basically saving us and keeping us in the game and getting us at least this 1 point. Lol, we expecting too much from these guys, including the manager. Just anticipate being in knockouts at the back end of the season. Won't be consistent with these lot, though. Will nick a few trophies, though. Yeah, I agree. Eventually, as the squad ages together, we will be there, in my opinion. Will we win a league? Who knows? But we'll be there fighting for it. At 1 point behind us and has picked up form. Yeah. And we will play them next week at the Bridge, which is difficult. Is Sanchez slowly getting up there with the best goalkeepers in the Premier League? I'm not really sure I'm saying that yet, but yeah. I mean, he had some dodgy passes in the beginning of the game, but in the grand scheme, I think it was very good. Sanchez was the man of the match, to be fair. Exactly. No quality. Best 4 is gone. It's Chelsea standard now. What? Are you saying top 4 is gone? Absolutely not. Top 4 is not gone. We will be in the top 4 by the end of the season. Trust me. Just trust me. Just to, stick on a positive, I'll go with Wesley Fofana, and I will give Wesley Fofana 7.5. Not quite the same as Sanchez, but still a good rating. I thought he was decent. Now, let me look at the stats. If the stats support what I'm waffling about, maybe they don't. Won the most duels in the match, so that sounds about right. Only misplaced 4 passes. Fortunately, it's 0 out of 3 long balls. That's a bit of a shame. But 6 out of 10 ground duels, 6 out of 8 aerial duels. Very strong. 11 clearances, 7 header clearances, 7 recoveries. Very strong. Honestly, actually, I'll change my mind. I'll give him an 8 as well. I will give Sanchez man of the match, but I think Fofana also deserves an 8. Trevor Chalobah. I'm a little bit less sure about. 6 misplaced passes. Not great, but there you go. Like Fofana, 0 out of 3 long balls. 3 out of 3 ground duels, to be fair. 2 out of 3 aerial duels, actually very strong. Much stronger than I expected. I'm not really sure if he gave the ball away very often. Like, with you only have 6 misplaced passes, not too bad. 4 of those were even into the final third, which is quite impressive. Was never dispossessed. Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Still don't think it was as standout to me as Fofana, but I'll give him a 7. Are people thinking I'm going way too high? Maybe. RJ looked like he's been out for a month, not 1 game, and he's the captain. Maybe we can rely on the vice captain. No, he was missing in action too. Yeah, it's not ideal. What trophy should realistically be the goal for the season? Well, it all depends on the draw, mate. It all depends on the draw, Ricky, doesn't it? Like, if you get a decent draw, obviously the Carabao Cup, we're doing quite well already. We're in the quarterfinals against the Championship team, or even a League One team, aren't we? So if we beat them, we're in the semi-finals, which is 2-legged semi-finals. So then, we should or could win that one. Of course, the FA Cup, I don't think it's realistic to expect us to win the Champions League, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we pull off a great run in the Champions League. Again, depends on the draw. Get certain teams, then we'll see. He's in the final 2 years of his deal? No, he's not. He will be in the final 2 years of his deal in June. Now it's December. So not yet. And as reported today, talks over a new contract will happen, and both parties, Chelsea and Reece James, are expecting to change, and are expecting that not to be an issue. So I'm not going to be too concerned about that. Now, next, Marco Correa. I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. Because for a long time, many months, he was our best and most consistent player alongside Moise Caicedo. But recently, I'm starting to see him making mistakes. Many, many more mistakes than I'm used to from him. 10 misplaced passes today. It's for him shocking. 0 but only one attempted cross, only 1 out of 4 long balls, 1 out of 2 ground duels, 2 out of 4 aerial duels. Okay, I'm not too mad at the aerials of him, but the 10 misplaced passes, I think, is quite bad. You would give him a 7, honestly. I'm not giving him that. I'm more like where JC is, maybe somewhere in the middle. I'm like thinking 5.5 or just about a 6, because he was part of that team that at least we kept the clean sheet. You know what I mean? That's what you have to do. In games like this, you can't score. Make sure you keep a clean sheet so you at least don't lose. Do you know what I mean? But by his standards, I think it wasn't good enough to be an average rating, so I'll give him a 5.5. That's what I will do. Next, Reece James. Now, he had a few moments in the first half where he just gave the ball away in positions where he really just shouldn't have. 12 misplaced passes. Obviously, more offensive than Cucurella, but still. 4 out of 9 long balls, though. Attempted different types of passes. 4 out of 10 ground duels, 2 out of 2 aerial duels. Honestly, the ground duel stats, I think quite a few of that is fouls. He supposedly committed 4 fouls, and I think half of them really weren't fouls, if I'm being honest. So that's the lost duels. But yeah, he did make a mistake or two that led to chances. I'll just give him a 6. I don't think it was bad enough to go below average. I think he was still, in a sense, better than Cucurella, even though he maybe gave the ball away, more dodgy moments. But yeah, 6 for RJ. We need Chilwell back. I don't know about that, mate. James, 6.5. I think he took too much time on the ball. Could have made better decisions. Yeah, absolutely. Although that depends on applies for everybody in the team, if I'm being honest. Like literally all of them. But the movements just weren't there higher up the pitch, in my opinion. Okay, we next get to Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez completed the most passes in the match with 72 out of 80. Tells you everything that he played the most passes, not one of our centre backs. Had 1 shot on target out of 2, 5 out of 9 accurate long balls, not too bad. 2 out of 5 ground duels, 3 out of 6 aerial duels. Not enough defensive contributions. 1 tackle, 0 blocks, only 1 clearance, 4 recoveries only isn't that great. Although supposedly never dribbled past, not what my eyes told me, but there you go. Committed 2 fouls, was fouled once. I'll give him a 5 or 5.5. What are you guys thinking for Enzo? Karan said 7. You think he was better than Reece? All those wages and no goals, need a shake-up. I mean, we don't even spend much in wages, if I'm being honest. We spend more on wages for Reece James than pretty much the entirety of the rest of the squad. No, it's not quite true, but you get the point, though. 5, Enzo could have easily passed on Neto or Estevao. Both situations, he was selfish, literally a passenger. Well, can't be a passenger when he's selfish, but I hear your point. I absolutely hear your point. Yeah, should have passed both of those moments. I get him because he's like was frustrated with everybody else, and he was just like, nobody's doing anything properly here, so I'm gonna do it myself. I get it, but it didn't work out, did it? Malo Gusto, not too much of an issue with him today, to be honest. There was that one phenomenal tackle that he had in can't remember, second half actually, I think. 40 out of 49 passes, so all right. Do you know what I mean? 1 out of 3 dribbles, 1 out of 3 long balls, 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, 9 recoveries. Last man tackle once as well. 5 out of 7 ground duels. Okay, 0 out of 2 aerial duels, but it's Gusto. He's not exactly brilliant in the air, is he? I'll give him a 6. I'm even tempted at a 6.5, if I'm being honest. Malo Gusto, like 6, 6.5. I think it was all right. I'll give him a 6. Because he also, like, a couple of shots, like one of the biggest chances Bournemouth had in the first half. Semenyo came in from the left, hits it, I think with a shot that he meant as a shot. Sanchez did really well to save it, but then it falls to Evan Nilsson, and he just puts it wide, thankfully, just about puts it wide. And Gusto just made it way too easy for Semenyo to get inside and actually do something. Now, Cole Palmer, what do I do with him now? Because obviously we all love Cole Palmer. Obviously, I don't want to be too harsh. He's been out since September. It's December now. First start back, 26 out of 38 passes. But yeah, it's not too brilliant, is it? 1 shot on target out of 1, 1 out of 2 dribbles, 0 out of 1 crosses, 1 out of 4 accurate long balls. He never got dispossessed, supposedly. 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 7 recoveries, 3 out of 4 ground duels. Oh, no, I disagree with that, JC. I disagree with that completely. But first of all, it was Mark Eel by that point, not Delap. But I get you. But I know what you mean. But I disagree with that. I think actually the squaring the header across was by far the best choice. Unfortunately, Eel didn't realize it because he had never had the positioning in leaning back to get that on target. It would have been the easiest catch for Petrovic ever. Palmer, 5.5. Can't fault him. He looked rusty. I can fault him. should have played on the right. Of course, someone will come out and criticize the manager. The reason he didn't play on the right is because Caicedo is out and Cucurella shifted into midfield. That's why. I hear you though. Like, it's not like I fully disagree, but yeah, it kind of had its other reasons in the squad why Palmer didn't play on the right. But he was very central for a lot of the game. Sure, sometimes he was on the left. He was very central, and even when he was on the right, he was making constantly wrong decisions. His timing of pass to Neto was shocking. Obviously, Neto was shocking himself, but in terms of his positioning. But yeah, at least we got a point, but feels like a big loss, absolutely. Palmer played like he came back after 2 months, 3 months even. Palmer missed a pass when Neto was free. That should not happen. Shouldn't happen, yeah. What will I give him? I'm really unsure. 5. Yeah, why is it a 2? I said 5. I think it was worse than Cuckoo in the grand scheme of things. Was he? I give him a 5.5 as well, just because it was his first start back. On a normal day, if he wasn't just coming back from injury, I would probably give this performance at best a 4, like Couture Criminal said. A blueprint is starting to form. A press and a good low block will do the trick. Yeah, well, but that's literally against any team in the world. That is any good team in the world. That is your best bet of trying to beat him. Why was Palmer taken off? Well, because he's just come back from injury, and it was always clear that he would be taken off after an hour. That was always very clear, in my opinion. We'll go to the front three. Neto, I thought it was awful. I thought his timing was so bad today. Am I harsh for giving him a lower rating than everybody else? Maybe. I'll say 4.5 just to not be too harsh, but my God, I was really unhappy. I was really unhappy with Pedro Neto today. I need to quickly look at some stats. He's got a green rating, created the most chances, supposedly. It didn't feel like that to me. 32 out of 39 passes, all right. 1 out of 2 shots on target, 0 out of 2 successful dribbles, 3 out of 6 successful crosses, decent to be fair. 1 out of 4 ground duels, 3 recoveries, no other defensive moments. Should I give him a 5 at least? Is 4.5 too harsh? Well, to be fair, Karan says 6.5. To be honest, Karan, you have gone very high for all of these ratings, in my opinion. But I refuse to give him higher than a 5. I can only go up to a 5. I'm not giving him higher than that. I do think he was, in the grand scheme of things, of how important he is to us and being our highest goal scorer so far this season in the league, not good enough. Not good enough. Garnacho, not good either. I thought a little bit better than Neto, personally. No, I have to give Garnacho a 5. I can't give him... Can I give Garnacho a 5.5? Doesn't feel like it. The woodwork, I suppose, 17 out of 20 passes, pretty decent. Didn't give it away. 0 out of 3 dribbles. 2 out of 3 crosses, though. 2 out of 6 ground duels. I don't know, man. The tricky one, that. Nah, I'm giving Garnacho a 5, and I'm giving Pedro Neto a 5.5, a 4.5. I'm sorry. I know some of you will be unhappy with that. For what? Passing the ball back and losing the ball? Yeah, there you go. Honestly. Palmer wasn't better than Neto. I mean, maybe not, but Palmer has the excuse of coming back from over 2 months out, while Neto is one of our most important players. Was looking decent, just like Gittins was versus Leeds, and they both got hooked. No, they didn't get hooked. It was very much a planned substitution where it was very clear from this very second the game starts that Palmer would not play more than 60 minutes. It had nothing to do with performance. It was purely a physical substitution. No other reason. And it was bloody better. So imagine Palmer playing the whole game straight after injury. It'd be insane. He's a Ziyech with pace, with Williams' work rate. Who's that? Oh, Pedro Neto. No, don't disrespect Ziyech like that. Ziyech had a wonderful left foot. 5, his first half was so shit, second half a bit better, but man, that first half was terrible. Will not be mad if it was 4. I'm not sure if we're talking about Pedro Neto or Garnacho right now, for being honest. Had a shave, and it made no difference, still sideways passing mistakes, yeah. Neto needs to lift his head more. Head is always down. Yeah, exactly. His head is always down with the ball, and his head is also down without the ball. Like, it's just like he's running. Like, and then he moans at players for misplacing the pass. He doesn't realize, he doesn't see where the space is and where people are going to be able to pass, and he doesn't look at it. If we lose to Atalanta midweek, can we call Maresca half-season merchant? No, we cannot. Absolutely cannot. Because we had a great first half of the season last season. Then we had a struggling month, 6 weeks, and then we were really good again. might be a similar pattern. But again, I will reiterate this point. How many managers has this been the case under? Think about it. How many managers has this very thing been the case under? Are we going to say that about Thomas Tuchel? Do you know what I mean? He does have a good left foot, but in a different way to Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Ziyech has a wonderful left foot. He can create magic. Pedro Neto can, with will, can create things, but not with magic, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, we'll get to the lab. I mean, fucking hell, how shit do you want to be? So bad. Gets his shoulder dislocated as well, like the little pussy that he is. Falls over, absolutely bullied by a centre back. He's supposed to be a big man striker. Absolute waste of time, absolute waste of money. At least he was cheap. Do you know what I mean? João Pedro is much worse because he was expensive. 4 out of 5 passes tells you everything, but obviously he only played half an hour. He then got injured. Yeah, I'm not going to be too mad. I almost want to give him an NA, but I can't, so I'll give him a 4. You know? Should I give him lower than everybody else? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Feels fucking justified. I can't lie. Feels justified. I'll give him a 4. But we're taking him straight off anyway, because obviously he got taken off very soon with his injury. Mark Hugh came on instead. And he wasn't any good either. He really wasn't any good. He got bullied the whole entire game. Got on the end of nothing. Showed no striker instinct. Had 8 out of 13 passes. 1 out of 2 shots on target. It was a really poor shot. 1 out of 0 out of 1 dribbles. 1 out of 4 ground deals. 2 out of 3 aerials at least. I mean, Gio is slightly lesser expectations than Delap, so I'll give him a 5. But essentially, the performance was very similar and simply not good enough. Yeah, I mean, the less said about those guys, the better. How is Delap built like a brick and soft like a plushie? Literally bodied by their defender. 3 for me. Yeah, honestly, you could even give him a 3. I can't even disagree with you. But yeah, he's so shocking, isn't it? It's absolutely shocking. I'm sure if there was a chart on complaining to the ref, we would be at the top of it. They're always complaining and not enough playing football. I mean, to be fair, sometimes I understand that complaining. The amount of decisions we get against us when it's clearly not a foul and they give a foul anyway is ridiculous. Looks like he was playing on roller skates. A little bit, maybe. But there you go. So what other substitutions did we make? Obviously, we made the injury sub, Mark Yu coming off for the lap in the first half. And then we took off Cole Palmer in the second half, replacing him with João Pedro. I want to give him like a 0. Genuinely. He was so bad. He just does nothing. But he had 9 out of 10 passes. But that's because he never passed it anywhere useful. 1 pass in the final third, 0 touches in the opposition box. 2 tackles, 4 recoveries. That's it. 3 out of 3 ground duels, 2 out of 4 aerial duels. He just wasn't playing like a number 10. He was almost playing like a centre mid. Yeah. He has to be injured. It looks like it, doesn't he? Fucking looks like it. I'm happy with the João Pedro experiment ending in January. It's not going to, bro. We paid 60 million. It's not going to end anytime soon. I'll tell you that much. I'll give him a 3, though. Yeah. I thought he was even worse than Delap, to be honest. Just because he was so static. And so considering how much pressure there was at that point to get a goal, he was just doing nothing. Literally nothing. And then at the end, we took off Garnacho, brought on Estevao. Honestly, it felt like he didn't touch the ball. It felt like he didn't really touch the ball. Pedro Neto obviously shifted over to the left. Estevao was then on the right. Let me quickly look at some of his stats. But like I say, it didn't feel like he touched the ball. 2 out of 2 passes, 10 touches in total, 0 out of 2 dribbles, no defensive action, 0 out of 3 ground duels. I think he's better off if I give him an N8. What? I didn't even know you could do that. Bloody magic. Can I do NA? No. I can't do anything. Well, then we'll bring Garnacho back in, take Estevao out. What is happening? Guys, what is happening? Ignore this. I'll put Neto back over here. I'll take Estevao back out. I'll put Garnacho in with his, I think I gave him a 5, didn't I? We'll keep it at that. And then we'll put the bench player there in Estevao. Yes. So there you can see that. He wasn't on the pitch for long enough to deserve a rating. So there you go. We'll be back. Just one more game. Watch. Well, hopefully. bloody hopefully. João Pedro perfectly represents the current state of Brazil. Moments of magic, but eventually fizzles out. Moments of magic a long time ago. I haven't seen any in a long time. The English and American media rejoice anytime Chelsea stumble. Yeah, just don't follow the media, bro. Don't follow it. Gil was slow, Ash. Ash, what the fuck, bro? Nah, was he? I don't know. Pedro made things so much worse. Like, what is his role in the team? He's not good up top, not good at 10. What is he good at? Are we sure he's Brazilian? Mixed, maybe. I don't know. But all he reminds me of is a terrible Kai Havertz. Not a good version of Kai Havertz, a terrible version of Kai Havertz. And that is the worst thing possible. Delap looks like Armando Broja, also getting injured equally as often. And João Pedro looks like Kai Havertz. Brilliant. Just turned the time back. Can João Pedro also score a Champions League winner, maybe? Why is Garnacho got a 2 again all of a sudden? My days. Sorry, mate. It's not my intention. Obviously, we can't do it here, but Enzo Maresca, I don't really feel like it was much of an Enzo Maresca issue, if I'm being totally honest. We tried something interesting in the first half, having Reece James drop to left centre-back to help our build-up issues that we had against Leeds. We shifted it around in the second half. We obviously had the striker to come off very early. Could he have brought on Gittins and Estevao at the same time rather than putting Neto at left wing? Sure, but would that have changed the result? I really don't think so. So for me, Maresca is like a 5. You know, nothing super bad, nothing super great. That's my take anyway. Yolanda was good, tactics decent. There you go. I will quickly look if we have any notifications yet or any quotes yet. Oh, wait. Pys has missed the bloody game. Oh, shit. I didn't even know Pys missed the game. So what are we going to do about our podcast? I don't really know yet. We'll need to figure that out. Link is down in the description. Chelsea Unfiltered, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we still don't have any quotes either. Why is nobody doing anything? Come on, guys. Hurry the flip up. So, thankfully, Vince provides. So, let's quickly, at the end of it, before we round this out, look at some quotes from the managers. Andoni Iraola says, I'm pleased with the performance. We played a really solid game. You have to value up the point. We're playing a very good team. They can also score. 1 point is not a lot, but we value it. Enzo Maresca says, I think we tried to win the game. We had some chances. I said many times it's important not to lose when you don't win. We missed a bit of quality in the last third, but we need to go again on Tuesday. Yes, we do. Enzo Maresca, I think we controlled the game, and then in the last bit, we missed the shoot, the pass, the cross. That can't just happen. For us, it was another clean sheet, and we didn't lose, so that is important. Enzo Maresca on Cole Palmer, he was good after a long time. He played for some minutes, and now he needs to build his physical condition. Oh, yes, he does. Because, I don't know, he just didn't feel right to me. Like, he still looked his smooth self, but he didn't look like, I don't know, what do I call it? It just didn't look like he had his touch right. The touch just weren't happening for him. Any news on the Delap injury? That's a good question. I haven't seen any yet. I mean, can anybody talk to me about this in the comments quickly, please? Like, again, I'm no doctor. I've never actually dislocated my shoulder, and I'm glad I haven't, touch wood. I mean, don't need that happening. But especially when there's doctors available so quickly. I know that when it's popped out for a while, you can't just push it back in because it's dangerous, because there can be blood underneath and then can cause all sorts of trouble. But when it happens straight away, as far as I knew, the literally best and healthiest thing to do is to pop it straight back in, because the longer it's popped out, the more your tendons all around your shoulder start to stretch, start to, like, you know, loosen. And then once your shoulder is popped back in, it's not as stable. It's much easier to pop it back out again. So I was really surprised that they didn't do that, didn't try that. So, yeah, really surprising to me. Obviously, unfortunate. I'm probably expecting him to be back by at least next weekend. Probably miss Tuesday, but let's see. It says another season of shamelessly celebrating top 4, if we even get that after 2 billion spent. I mean, I got to that point earlier. I think this season, top 4 still has to be the expectation. I mean, obviously, I want us to do better than last season, and I still think we can and will. But of course, we had such a difficult summer. Yes, we won the Club World Cup, amazing. But then no preseason, 1 week of preparation before the season started. And injuries to crucial players. First, obviously, Cole Palmer. Now we're missing Caicedo in these crucial games. It's not ideal. But like I say, the 2 billion spent is like half the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like, part of that, first of all, it's not even quite 2 billion, but half of that is for people that haven't even started to arrive at the club, like your Quinders, you know, people like that. but the large majority was spent on potential. That's for idiots like Raheem Sterling and shit like that. You know what I mean, Liam Delap is trash. Yeah, kind of is, bro, and it pisses me off. Why are you trash, mate? Why are you trash? But at the same time, like, I'm much more critical of João Pedro. I'll say it like that, than I am of Liam Delap still, because Liam Delap is first of all a good bit younger, but second of all, he's also just joined from Ipswich, a team that got relegated. It was his one and only season in the Premier League up until here as well. And he obviously played a completely different style of football at Ipswich than he did at Chelsea. So he will always need adaptation time. Always was going to. Now, then he obviously missed some time with injury, which obviously hindered his adaptation period. So I'm not like ruling Delap yet. Absolutely not. But obviously, what we can say, he's not an improvement on Nicholas Jackson. Like, he's worse than Nicholas Jackson was when we signed him from Villarreal. That doesn't mean Delap can't get better and can't, get to the level of Jackson or maybe even higher. But as of now, it's worse. And that's why, that's why we're not aiming for the league right now. To be honest, we'd have needed to do a lot of signings this summer and a lot of all brilliantly working out signings for us to really be in the title contention. I never really thought that was ever possible. You don't go from 12th to 6th to scraping top 4 to being title contenders. It doesn't work like that, no matter how much money you spend. Popping a dislocated shoulder is actually not a good choice. Muscle spasms and other things can make it much worse. Better to leave it, apply ice, and medically treat it. Medically treat it how? So you're saying leave it out and never put it back in? No, you need to put it back in. Because once it's out, you can rip blood vessels, and then the blood can fill the shoulder cavity. Shall we call it that? Is that an appropriate word? I only know about this in German a little bit, so I'm translating on the fly. And then I know that can cause real problems. Now, I know what you're saying with the muscle spasms and everything, and maybe his muscles were all too tight. That's why they couldn't pop it back in, and they looked at it. But that's why I'm still giving Delap a bit more time anyway. Than I am João Pedro, who has much more experience in the Premier League, played at a team with a much closer level to Chelsea, also with a style much closer to Chelsea, so shouldn't be anywhere near as far off the mark and far off the pace as he is. Liam Delap has a little bit of leeway, in my opinion. João Pedro does not, and he's not providing right now, and it's really frustrating for me. Really, really frustrating. But fair, if you're right, fair enough, then maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, who knows? Like, it's not like I'm saying that they did really bad. It's just like I'm curious because I've seen people dislocate their shoulder on the pitch. It'd be popped back in and they kept playing. And that's what I initially thought was going to happen when Delap fell over. But yeah, there is no qualified among the players who can do the tactics right to even pop it back in. Things could go so much worse. No, not the players, bro. Not the players. The medical staff were on the pitch like 30 seconds later. No. I'm not asking the players to move back in. That'd be mental. But I mean, I would rate it if it worked out. But it would be mental. But no. I mean, the medical staff, of course. But yeah, what can I say, guys? Just more points dropped. Quite a bit of a gap in the top 4 race now, which is just really frustrating. Oh man, really frustrating. I'll quickly just open the league table. I don't really want to look at it, but we kind of have to. Obviously, some more games to come tomorrow, which could make it look even worse. But now, obviously, still in 4th. Everton are only 1 point behind us, which is mental, by the way. Everton, fair play to them and David Moyes. Palace could overtake us if they win tomorrow against Fulham, which they very well might do. Can anybody else overtake us? Brighton, I mean, they need to win 6-0, so that's quite unlikely. But they're playing West Ham, so you can't rule it out. But yeah, obviously 5 points off Aston Villa in 3rd now, who we play on the 27th of December, the day after Boxing Day. That's frustrating. 5 points behind them, 6 points behind Man City, 8 points now behind Arsenal. Such a good week last week. The win against Barca, the draw against Arsenal with 10 men for the large majority of it. But such a terrible week after that. Such a bad week, man. Leeds, loss. Bournemouth, 0-0 draw. I don't know. I thought the players helping him immediately and move on or something. No, not quite that. Not quite that. I did mean the medical stuff. Is football really worth it? I mean, it's all run by corrupt oligarchs anyway. Don't worry. Just Maiko. Honestly, Uzair, you have a fantastic point. Honestly, I mean, I also support my local team, 3rd Division Austria. And even we have a partnership with fucking LAFC. I mean, it's just corrupt. I mean, they're not oligarchs, but they're just rich people everywhere. I mean, they've done good by us so far. I mean, but everywhere, it's just money in football. It's just about that. Liverpool in crisis could go above us. Could they? Am I bugging? No, they couldn't. They could join us. They could go level on points with us because their game is already like counted. They're 1 point. So they're currently actually on 22 points. But if they win, they could go to 25 points, which would be level with us, but not ahead of us. But yeah, I mean, that's part of the issue, isn't it? With Liverpool. But I think people are blowing their Liverpool form a little bit out of proportion. If they catch themselves now, it's fine. You know, it's like us. We'll probably have a bad December, as we always do, and then we'll find our form again and then have a good second half of the season. But I just really hope, cross my fingers, touch wood, that we just catch ourselves now, beat Atalanta, beat Everton, and then be back into form, get some good results until Christmas, and then move after that. But yeah, you can never be too confident, man. You can never be too confident. Yeah, that's the depressing stuff. Liverpool in crisis and an underwhelming Man United don't seem as bad looking at how we perform. Yeah, but it's just a close league, isn't it? Like if I open it up again, sorry, one more time before I round it out. Between us in 4th and literally 12th, it's 3 points. Like it's more about it's tight than that it's like, oh, look at how bad United and Liverpool are. I mean, they are bad. They have not had great results. And we've not had great results either. 4 losses, 4 draws, more not wins than wins in total out of the 15 games. It's not amazing. But it's not terrible either. Otherwise, we wouldn't be 4th. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you very, very much for everybody that has tuned in. Everybody that has joined from Lewis's stream, from Lewis's raid, appreciate you very much. Hit the like button if you haven't done that yet. We'd massively appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't done that either. That'd be fantastic. I'm still trying to want to hit 20,000 subscribers. It's moving slow, but maybe it will. So, hey, if you haven't done that yet, every new subscriber counts. So please do hit the subscribe button. It'd be very much appreciated. Thank you, everybody, ever so much for tuning in, as always. But yeah, up the Chelsea, upwards and onwards, and I will see you next time.